Okay, guys. Well, it's been a pretty busy week this week, and I'll tell you what, there's a few things I do want to talk about. First of all, let me introduce my sponsors. As always, Dewey's Third Ward Tavern. Always a good place to meet with your friends, always a good place to grab a bite to eat, and always some good specials. And also for Coach's Diner, because you know what? Marty sometimes offers a big breakfast burrito. And let me tell you something, you will not go hungry. If you're still hungry after you eat it, well, that's just the breaks. Well, first thing I want to talk about is a little bit of a shameful way to end a Hall of Fame coaching career here in the Finger Lakes. A lot of you probably know what happened with Damon Nicholson, the longtime great coach of the Romulus girls. 3 years ago, he led Romulus to a state title, but suddenly he decided to resign because of personal reasons. One thing is, you've had an awesome career, Damon. I've followed you for a long time, and my mom has always thought very well of you. But I do want to give my 2 cents worth here, hence the name Kenny's 2 Pennies. From an inside source, I kinda heard that it was because your girls weren't focused in the game against South Seneca. Yeah, they were trailing by a big margin at the half. And from what I heard, apparently the girls were actually laughing and carrying on like it was nothing at all, instead of being focused on the task at hand. And you, my friend, did your job. You did what you should have done. You lit into them to say, hey, let's not concentrate on who's playing kissy face huggy bear with whom, or who's bringing the beer ball to this week's party. You gotta focus at the task at hand. Because, I'll tell you something. South Seneca does look good this year. They look like almost state championship caliber. The way I look at it, Damon, you did your job. But apparently a couple of girls had to complain to Mommy and Daddy. And the Mommy and Daddy had to say something to the athletic director about the way you lit into them. Well, you know what? Hey, they don't like it. They shouldn't be on the team. And good for you that you weren't going to put up with any nonsense. Yeah, it was a sad way for your career to end. Because, you shouldn't have to put up with this crap. You should have gone out on your own terms, Damon. And I will tell you what, hey, there's a lot of schools that would like to have you. But of course, I know that you want to continue in Romulus in your teaching ways, and that's fine. But career shouldn't have ended like that. Damon, you have my full support. And I will tell you, great job. And my mom sends along her congratulations to you too. Now I'm going to go from talking about a shameful end to a Hall of Fame career to a shameful way that the NFL playoffs did. Well, who thinks it should be Kansas City and New Orleans playing for the Super Bowl instead of Los Angeles and New England again? Who thought that was one of the most blatant missed calls in NFL history? I do, even if the defensive back is a former Bill. Not only was that pass interference, that should have been unnecessary roughness or personal foul. Any one of 3 major penalties could have been called on that play. But no, the refs missed it. Instead of maybe getting the touchdown that could have clinched the game, sending New Orleans to the Super Bowl, it winds up leading to just a field goal. And of course, Los Angeles drove down and Greg Zuerlein showed what kind of a leg he is. So it's the Rams in the Super Bowl. Not to take anything away from the Rams, but the refs shouldn't handle it. Refs shouldn't hand the game to Los Angeles like that. Same way with New England. 2 blatant missed calls there on the drive there that helped New England get the lead. Of course, Kansas City came down to tie it, but who thought those 2 calls were a little questionable? On what amounted to a love tap, they called roughing the passer on Kansas City. All the guy did was like that to Tom Brady. Of course, the refs are sympathetic to Tom Brady. And on the play where he threw the INT that could have clinched the game for Kansas City, guess what? They call lining up in the neutral zone. Where was lining up in the neutral zone? Kind of a phantom call, if you ask me. But no, the NFL and everybody want to have New England and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl again for the 9th time. You know what? This is the 2nd consecutive year that I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl, as I don't want to see Tom Brady and his shit-eating grin there in the Super Bowl, and also Bill Belichick, who thinks he's the ghetto boy of the NFL with his hoodie on the sideline. You know what? Enough is enough. It's time for a different team. Yeah, everybody says, oh, Tom Brady's the GOAT. Well, much like a meme is out there, like with Jack Lambert saying, Tom Brady the best ever, that bitch wouldn't have lasted a season in the 70s. You know what? It's New England and Los Angeles in the Super Bowl, but it should be 2 different teams, if you ask me. Well, I'm going to go from talking about that to talking about my boys, the Orange. Yeah, pretty good win against Pittsburgh on Saturday. And also we showed that, hey, Chukwu and Battle and others can dunk in your face, Jack. Well, of course, that was the win. The loss was not getting Isaiah Stewart to commit to the Orange. He was a top 5 national recruit, originally from Rochester. And the thing is, apparently he's set a relationship up with former assistant who was the former coach in waiting, Mike Hopkins, who's now gone to Washington. Well, guess what? Isaiah Stewart continued that relationship. He committed to the Huskies. Well, you know what? It's good to establish that rapport. And the thing is, I still wish Mike Hopkins was with the Orange, but he had an opportunity, so he took it. Well, you know what? We got a win, but we did get a loss. But I will say to Isaiah Stewart, good luck, kid. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about the Oscars. Yeah, the nominations were handed out this week. And I will tell you, it was a pretty good thing for Roma, the film from Alfonso Cuarón from Mexico. 10 nominations. But I am going to look at a couple of the categories. Best Supporting Actor looks interesting. Mahershala Ali is a pretty good actor. I've been impressed with his work, and he's the favorite. But me, like a lot of others, kind of hope Sam Elliott gets Best Supporting Actor. You know, he's been a great actor for a long time. Favorite. Always so low-key. You know what? He gave a great performance. He should be rewarded. But Best Actor, that is a loaded category. 4 of the 5 nominees are deserving of the award. And right now, if you ask me, I think either Bradley Cooper or Christian Bale, who played Vice President Dick Cheney in Vice, should be the favorite. I'm going to say it's Christian Bale. Oh, of course, we'll see. We got a month. But I think Sunday night at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, that'll give a clearer picture, if you know what I mean. That's all I have time for this week. And Damon Nicholson, again, great career. It shouldn't have ended that way. I'm Ken Haas. Till next week.